Good morning. This is Mark Bruno, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, and it's Friday, so that means we're here with Frank. And before I bring Frank out with a couple of special guests, I just want to remind everybody to, like, share, comment. If you have questions for us, shoot us a note in the comments, and we'll try to answer your questions. So, Frank, I understand we've got some special guests from New Jersey who you visited recently with us today.
You bet. I am delighted to have Chris and Danielle Wolowitz from Shore Business Products in New Jersey, whose open house we attended and wrote about, and was so impressed with what they have done. Bear in mind, this is a 6-year-old company that has done some pretty spectacular things through the worst of times. And I thought it would be a move towards positivity for a change, instead of talking about doom and gloom and how we're all going out of business and what the world is on our shoulder. We're going to turn to two people and say, how the hell did you do it? So good morning, Chris. Good morning, Danielle. Nice to see you both.
Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Frank and Mark. Thank you guys for having us.
It's our pleasure. Let me begin very simply by saying, what was the motivation to do it when you did it?
Motivation of acquiring Shore Business was,
yes,
I would say in 2019 was, I would say that we were right place, right time at that point, but it is something that Danielle and I, with our backgrounds, have always wanted to do. We always felt that we could grow a business, but at the same time, give back to employees and community at the same time. So the motivation was we love this industry and we knew that we can grow our own company. And we were lucky enough to be able to be in the right place, right time in order to do that.
Well, it's interesting to me that both of you collectively have an enormous amount of experience. How many years have both of you been in the business prior to acquisition?
I started actually in this industry while I was in college in 2001, and spent my entire career at 2 different manufacturers prior to joining Shore in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. I started in 1999.
Well, that was the number I came up with the first time. 40 years between the two of you. So I guess one of the things to walk away with is both of you knew the business. So you weren't buying into something that you didn't have any understanding of what was going on. But I think fundamentally you were challenged with the pandemic. How did you work through that and still maintain an equilibrium and keep yourself in a position to increase your revenue?
It was something that, back then was just going to be 2 weeks, Frank, that we were going to flatten the curve and we were going to be okay, remember? So the plan was never a plan, but we put our heads down. It was something that we committed ourselves to. We committed to the new employees coming on board in March. We stayed that course and brought them on board, and really spent a lot of time with Danielle's group, also training those individuals that we felt that when we came out of this, that we could hit the ground running. But Danielle was instrumental in a lot of that back then. So I think you should be able to handle the rest of this one, Danielle.
So I joined the company in February of 2020, and Chris had already been here a little over a year, and it was something we wanted to do together. We wanted to be able to grow the business, and like he said, be able to give back to our community at all costs. Like, right, that's a huge piece of what we do. Yes, we're in this to grow the company. Yes, we're in this to make a good living, but we want to make an impact, and that's a big piece of what we felt we could bring to Shore. When the pandemic hit, we were 13 employees. Dinners at night were interesting, I'll tell you that, because it was more of, oh God, now what do we do next? And okay, we had a business partner, right? Because we had bought the company from George Krebs, and he was still with us, working in the business day to day at that point. And he had been here from the very beginning. And a lot of what Chris and I would talk about at home was, do we think George is okay with how we're doing this, with the decisions we're making? We pushed ahead. And it was not easy decisions. Definitely one of the things that Chris always says is we didn't have employees, we had families. And at that point in time, we were relying on them, but they were relying on us to keep them employed, right? They needed these jobs just as much as we needed them. And we made a decision at that point in time that at all costs, we would keep them full time at their hours that they had been pre-pandemic. And we were able to hold true to that, which was amazing.